Wagan people, welcome to Drifter Compass, a place for stories, discoveries, and perspectives. Here we explore the moments, people, and ideas that shape our past and continue to influence our present. Join the journey and let the compass guide you along some of these untold history. So sit back and let's get into it.
The war they tried to forget. They call it Cockpit country, a maze of limestone hills, hidden valleys, and thick jungle deep in Jamaica's heart. It was here that a small community of free black men and women fought one of the British Empire's greatest challenge. A war that history tried to bury. A story whispered in the wind, carried down through generations. This is the story of the Accompong Maroons and the Trelawny War of 1795. A war for freedom fought by those who refused to be conquered. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, subscribe for more powerful Caribbean stories that reveal the truth behind the legends. Now, let's begin where it all started. Let's start at Accompong. High in the rugged hills of western Jamaica lies Accompong, a town unlike any other. Founded in the early 1700s by escaped Africans, the Maroons, it became a symbol of freedom long before independence was ever dreamed of. For decades, these warriors lived free, beyond the reach of the British crown. They built farms, raised families, and created their own laws, governed by leaders chosen not by title, but by courage and wisdom. But their freedom was not given. It was earned through blood, strategy, and an unbreakable bond with the land. By the mid-1700s, after decades of conflict, the Maroons signed a treaty with the British, granting them independence within Jamaica's borders. For a while, there was peace. But peace can be fragile. The Trelawny War begins. In 1795, that fragile peace shattered. The British, nervous about growing revolts across their empire, began tightening control over Jamaica's Maroon settlements. Rumors spread that the Trelawny Town Maroons, cousins of the Accompong people, were planning rebellion. A simple misunderstanding, a few unjust punishments, and then violence. 600 Maroon fighters, armed with muskets, machetes, and an intimate knowledge of the land, faced off against thousands of British soldiers. Outnumbered, outgunned, but never outmatched. This was not just a battle for land. It was a battle for identity, for dignity, for the right to live free. For months, the Maroons used every inch of their terrain to their advantage. They ambushed British patrols. They vanished into the forest. Each hill, each cave became a fortress. The British governor called it a war without end. Even with superior weapons, the Empire could not crush this hidden army. And when peace was offered, the Maroons refused to surrender. They negotiated as equals. A small nation standing face to face with one of the world's greatest powers. That is the spirit of the Maroons, unyielding, strategic, united. A people who had already defeated slavery and would never bow again. The treaty and the betrayal. Under the terms of that truth, hundreds of Maroons were taken from their homeland, exiled to Nova Scotia, and later sent to Sierra Leone in West Africa. Families were torn apart. A proud community scattered across oceans. Yet even in exile, the Maroons kept their traditions alive. Their songs, their language, their stories all carried the memory of Jamaica's mountains and their promise of freedom. Today, Accompong still stands, a living reminder of resistance, a place where the drumbeat of freedom never stopped. Every January, the descendants of those warriors gather to honor their ancestors. They remember the battles, the treaties, the betrayals, and the courage that shaped the soul of a nation. The Maroons were more than warriors. They were visionaries. They showed the world that freedom isn't a gift, it's a right worth fighting for. And in their story, we find the heart of Jamaica itself. Proud, defiant. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves learning the truth behind Jamaica's untold history. There are so many hidden stories waiting to be discovered, and together we'll bring them back to light. Until next time, walk good and remember, freedom was never free.